Hello everyone, it's really good to see you here. So today we are going to solve a Leetcode problem which is reorder list. So what we have given a linked list and we have in the form, let's suppose L0, L1 till LL. Then what we have to do is the first element should be L0, then the second element should be Ln, and then the third element should be L1, then the fourth element should be Ln minus 1. So in this way we have to reorder the given list. Okay, so now let's see the approach to solve this. So here we have given a list L. So what we do, we just split this list in two different lists. So what I mean from this is that this list, this is a one list and this is another list. So what we do, this list remains the same, but this list we have to actually reverse it. And when we got this L1 and L2, then we have to simply merge it. So the first element of L1, then the second element is from L2, then the third element is from L1, then again fourth element is from L2. So if any of the list remains, then we just connect it throughout. So let's see how we can do this. So firstly, the very first thing which we have to keep in mind is that how can we find this second list, or how can we just separate two of this list. So what we do, we take two pointers, slow and fast. So the slow pointer moves slow and the fast pointer moves fast. So if slow moves one step, fast moves two steps. So in second iteration, slow is here and fast is here. And after that, when slow reach here, fast is pointing to some null value. So what we consider that now a slow pointer is here. So from this point, we have to reverse our linked list. So reversing a linked list is a sub problem here. So you have to know how to reverse a linked list. So if you want to check that also, then you can check the link given in the description. And now, so after reversing this list, we got L2 as 543 and L1 as 1 2. So now what we have, what is the task? So the task is to merge these two lists. So first element is this, then the second element is this, third is this, fourth is this, and so on. So let's try to understand it using the iteration. So what we do here, let's suppose we are here. So now we are going to use 4 pointers here. So H1 is the head of the first linked list, this first L1 linked list. H2 is the pointer for the second linked list, so it is pointing to head of the second linked list. Then we are taking T1. So T1 is basically head next, head H1 next, and T2 is basically H2 next. So these 4 pointers we have to use. So what we are doing initially is H1 is this one. So now H1 next would be H2. And after that what we do, H2 should be equal to T1. And after this iteration what we do, we just shift T1 here, H1 also here, H2 here, and T2 also here. And after that we can see that now our list look like something like this. So 1 is pointing to 5, 5 is pointing to 2, and then 2 is pointing to 4, and 4 is pointing to 5. So this is the second iteration. So how we are doing is, now our H1 is at this place, H2 is at this place, T1 and T2. So now our H1 next is equal to H2. So 2 is pointing to 4. And after that we can see that now our T1 is pointing to null value. So what we do, we just come out of the loop and rest of the list is pointing as same. So we don't have to do anything. And from here we got our reorder list. So now let's try to see how we are doing this part of the code. So here this one is list reverse. So we are taking 3 pointers, previous, current and next, and then we are just reversing the list. So this reverse function actually just reverse a linked list from the given point of node. Now after that, we are taking two pointers, slow which is equal to head and fast which is also equal to head, and then we are iterating over over this till the point fast not equal to null as well as fast next not equal to null. And after that, what we are doing is we are just incrementing our slow to slow next and fast to fast next. So this is incremented by 1 degree and this is incremented by 2 degrees. So that is fast is double of slow. Now what we do, we just take three pointers. So here head h1 which I talked here, h1 is same as the head pointer, so that's why we are not again reassigning it. We are just using t1 which is representing head next, then h2 which is representing the reverse form of slow. So here you can see that this slow is the point from where we have to reverse the list. That's why reverse slow will actually give a reversed list L2. So head 2 is basically representing this list L2. Now T2 is representing head 2 next. Now what we do, we just run a while loop till the point T1 not equal to null and T2 not equal to null. So here T1 and T2 are head next and head 2 next. So while this is true, what we have to do is firstly we have to make our head next equal to head 2. That is what we are doing here. And then head 2 is equal to head 2 is equal to head. So firstly head 2 ka next equals to T1. That is this value's next is T1 and T1 is here. Now what we are doing is we are making T1 is equal to T1 next. So here T1 goes from this point to this point. And before that we are making head equals to T1. That is, now firstly our head is here. Now our head is pointing at this point. Now what we do, we take head 2 is equal to T2. So that is, now our head, firstly our head value is pointing here and head next is pointing here. Then what we do, we make H2 pointing to T2. And then again we are pointing T2 as T2 next. So this is what it is written here. So since it is a void function, we don't have to return it because we are doing all the changes inside the head pointer itself. So now let's try to submit this up. So this is the solution for the problem reorder list. And if you want to access the code, then you can check the GitHub link given in the description. And this is it for this video. Thanks for watching.